Dear brothers and sisters, I welcome you all to hear and see this video message. Today we are going to pray for Muslims' political representation in India. Because of our electoral system, that is first past the post electoral system we are following in India, Muslims have around 14% of population in our country. But from the independence, they are not crossing 10% of representation in Lok Sabha and in state assemblies. It is gradually decreasing from 83. Now it is around 4% in Lok Sabha. Because of all the political parties, they are not giving the candidate seats to contest for Muslims. Because of Muslims' appeasement, it is available in all the political parties, but they are not allowing to contest in the constituencies. This should be changed for their empowerment. A detailed content for this video I make it in the description. You can go through and study. The first past the post and Hindutva majoritarian politics. Muslims' lives matter, all lives matter. All votes should be worth the same, right? But with first past the post votes are not equal. Hindus make up 80% of the population, but India also has over 14% of Muslim population. And the fragmenting of the party system has been characterized by a rise in popularity for extremist parties. As of now, first past the post has completely failed to ensure representation to the minorities commensurate with their democratic share. For instance, Muslims, the largest religious minority in India, have dismal representation in both the Lok Sabha and state legislative assembly. I will explain by each state. Andhra Pradesh have 9.56% of Muslim population, but in state assembly they have only 3.74 representation. In Arunachal Pradesh, Muslims have around 1.9% of the population, but Muslim representation is 0. In Assam, Muslims have around 34.22% of population, but the representation in state assembly is 23.80. In Bihar, Muslims have around 16.87% of population, but the representation in state assembly is 9.87. In Chhattisgarh, Muslim population is 2.02, but the representation in state assembly is 0. In Delhi, Muslims have 12.86% of population, but the representation in state assembly was 5.71. In Goa, Muslims have 8.33% of population, but the representation in state assembly is 0. Gujarat, Muslims have 9.67% of the population, but the representation in the state assembly is 1.64. Haryana, Muslims have around 7.03% of population, but the representation is merely 3.33 in state assembly. In Himachal Pradesh, Muslims have around 2.18% population, but the representation in state assembly was 0. Jharkhand has around 14.53% of population, but Muslim representation in state assembly is merely 2.46. In Karnataka, Muslims have 12.92% of population, but their political representation in state assembly was 4.91. In Kerala, Muslims have 26.56% of population, but their representation in state assembly was 20.71. Madhya Pradesh have 6.57% of population, but their representation in state assembly is 0.04 in state assembly. In Maharashtra, Muslims have 11.54% of population, but their representation in state assembly was 3.47. In Manipur, 8.40% of population, but the representation in state assembly was 5%. In Meghalaya, Muslims have 4.40% of population, but their representation in state assembly was 1.69. In Mizoram, Muslims have 1.35% of population, but the representation is 0. In Nagaland, Muslims have 2.47% of population, but the representation in state assembly was 0. In Odisha, Muslims have around 2.17% of population, but the representation was 0.68 in state assembly. In Pondicherry, Muslims have around 6.05% of population, but their representation in state assembly was 3%. In Punjab, Muslims have around 1.93% in population, but their state assembly have 0.85% of representation. In Rajasthan, Muslims have 9.07% of population, but the representation in state assembly was 1%. In Sikkim, Muslims have 1.62% of population, but the representation was 0. In Tamil Nadu, Muslims have around 5.86% of population, but their representation in state assembly was 2.13. Tripura, Muslims have around 8.60% of population, but the representation in state assembly was 5%. Uttar Pradesh, Muslims have around 19.26% of population, but the representation was 5.95 in state assembly. Uttarakhand have around 13.95% of Muslim population, but their political representation in state assembly is merely 2.81. In West Bengal, Muslims have around 27.01% of population, but the political representation was 19.04. And also from the independence, Muslims have very low proportionate representation in Lok Sabha also. In first Lok Sabha, Muslims population is 9.8, but only have 2% of representation in Lok Sabha. In second Lok Sabha, Muslims have 10.69%, but they have 4% of representation in Lok Sabha. In third Lok Sabha also, Muslims have around 10.69% of population, but in Lok Sabha they have only 4% of representation. In fifth Lok Sabha, Muslims have around 11.21 percentage of population, but their representation in Lok Sabha was 6 percentage. In 6th Lok Sabha, Muslims have around 11.21 percentage of population, but their representation in Lok Sabha was 7 percentage. In 7th Lok Sabha, Muslims have around 11.75 percentage, but their highest population representation in Lok Sabha was 10 percentage from the independence and now also. In 8th Lok Sabha, Muslims have around 11.75 percentage of population, but their representation in Lok Sabha is 8 percentage. 9th Lok Sabha was 12.61 percentage of population, but Muslims representation in Lok Sabha 6 percentage. 10th Lok Sabha have around 12.61 percentage of Muslim population in our country, but they have merely 5 percentage of representation in Lok Sabha. 11th Lok Sabha have around 12.61 percentage of Muslim population in India, but Muslim representation in Lok Sabha was 6 percentage. 12th Lok Sabha is have 12.61 percentage of Muslim population in India, but the representation in Lok Sabha was 6 percentage. 13th Lok Sabha was 13.43 percentage of Muslim population, but the representation was same as 6 percentage in Lok Sabha. 14th Lok Sabha was 13.43 population of Muslims, but their representation is only 7 percentage in Lok Sabha. 15th Lok Sabha have around 14.23 percentage of Muslim population, but their representation was 6 percentage. 16th Lok Sabha on 2014 to 2019 have around 14.23 percentage of Muslim population, but their representation comes down to nearly 4 percentage in Lok Sabha. With the requirement to win election becoming lower and lower, vote shares are as more candidates and parties are entering the fray, political parties have resorted to consolidating certain vote banks at the cost of completely alienating Muslim groups, which they see as impediment to their electoral success. Although it is not as if this is a new revelation or that only one party can be accused of pandering to the interest of select communities, but with the BJP at the helm from 2014 and the rise in the Hindu majoritarianism, Muslims are being systematically kept away from the power structures. In 2014, the BJP fielded only 6 Muslim candidates in the 482 seats it had contested, and none made it into Lok Sabha. Despite emerging as the largest party in 2014 general election, the BJP did not have a single Muslim member of the parliament. To stave off the criticism of being anti-Muslim, the Modi government had to appoint 2 Muslim MPs from Rajya Sabha in its cabinet. Consequently, India saw the lowest representation of Muslim MPs, 23 in number, in the history of independent India in the Lok Sabha in 2014, and none of these was from the BJP. Even from Uttar Pradesh, where Muslims account for 18% of the population, not a single Muslim MP was selected to the state 80 Lok Sabha seats in 2014. In 2019, there was a marginal improvement in the situation with the tally of Muslim MPs in Lok Sabha rising to 27 and the BJP having a lone MP from West Bengal. There is a direct correlation between the first past the post system and the systematic isolation of Muslim community and the consolidation of particular communities. In an atmosphere of Hindu majoritarianism, parties other than the BJP have also preemptively decreased the number of Muslim MPs they fielded so as to not to be dubbed as anti-Hindu and Muslim appeasing except in Muslim majority constituencies. This does not bode well for India's multi-religious and multicultural society. In a really equal democracy, every or any section would be represented not disproportionately but proportionately. A majority of the electors would always have a majority of the representatives, but a minority of the electors would always have a minority of the representatives. An electoral system skewed in favor of a majority is not a conducive to a heterogeneous India. Amen.